Hello and welcome to this session. So quite recently I have been doing some SQL Server Reporting Services training and I thought of recording some videos. So what we'll do is we'll just record a couple of videos that covers from the basics and we'll go to the advanced stages. So in this session, I assume that people have absolutely no experience in SQL Server Reporting Services. So there are certain things which I'll be showing you in the demo from scratch. So SQL Server Reporting Services is a part of the business intelligence stack that is provided by Microsoft. So when you install SQL on your machine, you see that there are a couple of options that gets available to you. It's up to you whether to install them or not. One of them is reporting services. Likewise, there is something called as integration services, there is analysis services. And along with that, there are a couple of other options which let you install some examples and code books and etc. So this basically comes along with SQL Server. So if you want to kind of follow up with me, you can just download an Express edition and then kind of start following the demo along with me. So what we'll do is that, just for consistency's sake, we will try to download the AdventureWorks database from Codeplex and install it on our machine so that all the reports that we make, we could really follow the AdventureWorks database itself so that it's consistent across all the videos that we record. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download Express edition. So let me just quickly Google it up. So let's see. Let's download the 2008 R2. So pretty much the concepts are the same, the main concept. So you could start off with any version and then try to improvise on higher versions. So let me see if they have a 2008. Okay, they have something called advanced services. So yeah, so you could download the files from here, the exe file from here. So I have downloaded this, so I'm just going to execute that one. So let me see, that should be in downloads. All right, so let me just install this. So I'll be pausing the videos here and now so that we don't waste time in just looking at the screen. Let me just close all these things. So it's just copying over all the setup file. So once it has copied over the files, you should be getting something like this. So what we'll be doing is a fresh installation. So I may have some instances on my machine, but I'm just going to do this as a very fresh installation for now so that you get to see an end-to-end installation. So let me click on new installation. So it runs a couple of checks and then kind of gives you a summary. All right, so we're taken to this screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new installation. So I'm going to click next. Just read the license terms and conditions and then click on next. And once this is done, you see that there are a couple of things that you will need to check in. So when you have the RTM version or full version, you will see a couple of more options over here, like analysis services, integration services, etc. And this was exactly the features that I was talking about. So needless to say, we need the database engine services because the reporting services will be querying these databases. And of course, we'll install the business intelligence development studio and other management tools. You see that I have checked the reporting services also. Click next. All right, so here it gives you an option to either choose a default instance or a named instance. I'm going to go with the name instance and I'm going to just call this as SSRS Express. Let me click on next. All right, so this is the place where you start configuring your account names. For now I'm just going to leave it as it is. Just going to click on next. All right, now here is basically where you configure your authentication modes. I generally prefer mixed mode. Let me just enter a password, very simple password, and it has added the current user. You can add more users if you need them as your administrators. I'm going to click on next, and then it basically asks you whether you want to install the native mode or the SharePoint integrated mode, or just install but do not configure the report server. But we won't be discussing the SharePoint integrated mode over here. First of all, I do not have SharePoint installed on my machine. Maybe in some other series wherein we have SharePoint end-to-end, we'll discuss this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to install the native mode default configuration, and I'm going to click on next, and it starts the installation. So I'm just going to pause the video for a couple of minutes over here till it completes the installation. Okay, so we have completed the SQL 2008 R2 Express Edition installation. I'm going to close this. Now before we fire up SSRS, I need to do a couple of things. So let me just quickly check if the services are installed properly. So if I check, there is a SQL Server, the Express Edition, which we just installed, and the reporting services also. So at least the services are installed correctly. So next what I'm going to do is I am going to quickly go to SQL Server 2008 R2 and the configuration tools and reporting services configuration manager. Okay, so I'm going to choose the report server instance that I just installed. I'm going to connect to that, and let me just do a couple of reviews over here. Okay, that's that looks good. And web service URL, okay, database is set up, report manager URL looks fine. Okay, we don't need the email settings, etc. All right, so things look good. Let me just try firing this up. Okay, this won't work on Chrome, so let me just fire up IE, and I'll have to copy this.